Yo guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be talking about why people can be an obstacle in your life. So, number one, there are people who don't give a shit about you, and that's a starter. So, when I say they don't give a shit about you, that means they don't care. Either they're too busy worrying about themselves to care about anyone else, or they simply don't care about anything or anyone, including themselves, and they will just stay in the same place for the rest of their life. That is basically one of the types of teenagers we have in today's period. We've got, number one, that very same teenager I mentioned earlier, the one who cares about nothing and will end up in the exact same place. Two, the one who cares a little bit but doesn't care enough to do something. And then three, the one who does something or does one little thing but doesn't have the drive or doesn't continue to do anything else. And then the next type of teenager, the guy who takes action and the guy who persists and continues and also has discipline, but he also makes time for fun and enjoyable things that don't harm his progress. And then number five, the teenager who always works, the guy who actually never stops. In some ways this can be considered good, or in other ways it can be considered faulty. But those people who I mentioned earlier, the people who don't care about you, they're likely between the first type and the third type, and they're mostly the first or second type. And if they were the third type, they would care a decent bit about themselves and they would care a decent bit about other people, but they would not care too much to actually take action, and that's a problem for them. And that is the second person to ignore. The people who want it but don't take action. Those are the people who you should ignore next. Only go up to them and only interact with that purpose that you are having in mind once they've taken action and once they've started. Because only then can you truly define that they are like-minded along with you. Number three, they are causing a lot of problems for you guys. So, it could be a bully, it could be literally anyone, it could even be a friend of yours. They keep bailing out on you. They not only do that, they also pretty much talk shit behind your back. And whenever you do something, they don't give you constructive criticism, they'll roast you at any opportunity. I mean, sometimes even true friends do that, but they only do it to some sort of like a small level. Like, they don't do it to such an extreme level as this person. They will come up with whatever roast that they can to pretty much destroy you. And sometimes it can even be the littlest things. If you're prone to crashing out easily or don't have enough of a tolerance for anything like that, then you will be affected by those kinds of people. And sometimes it's either because you're just being immature and you're reacting immaturely, or no matter the thing, they're always coming up with something that you can actually say that it's mature to respond in the way that you're responding in. So, yeah, that is the type of person to ignore along with those few others. Number four, the person that does care and does hang out with you, but he's not providing any input. He's not trying to, whatever advice you're giving him, he's not doing, or he's not implementing. I'm just saying this from like a point of view, because usually it could be with like women as well, because if you're a girl, you'll have another friend of yours who whenever she makes a promise to you, she always bails out, she's always flaking. And what else? She could be ignoring all of her goals and pretty much doing nothing for her life, and you are the one who goes ahead while they stay down and they end up begging for help in the end. And that happens to literally everyone. Everyone will probably have a friend like that who can do nothing for themselves, and they probably could do something but they just choose not to, and then they end up on the boots of others, licking them and begging for help. And that used to be me last year. I used to be kind of like bootlicking another friend of mine until I actually started trying to learn and actually work with him properly. And then once that happened, I actually got better. I mean, sometimes I had to ask for herself, like genuine, like asking for help instead of just trying to piggyback ride him for no reason. So that pretty much changed my character, and also opened me up to the fact that no one can save you. And if that person is there, they don't realize that no one is going to save them. They don't realize that when they're poor, broke, and probably sitting on the streets and they can't have any food because they're just like, you know, those vagrants just lying down on the bridge. Yeah, they will have pretty much realized at that point that no one is coming to save them. And they should have realized it a long time ago before they ended up like that. So if you are a person right now, if you are any of those, you got to start having some empathy for people as well as take control of your own life. Because the moment you do, you'll actually start being able to provide inputs for others and find input for yourself. Because the moment you give input to others, they will have something in store that also helps you. For example, that friend I was talking about earlier, I gave him inputs of mine, and as well as him giving inputs from his own side. So that's basically what type of person you need. And if you're in a friendship, you need to be friends with probably the smartest possible people you can find. The smartest, but most humble, the most willing to teach you. And if you can find that person, treasure them, because they're actually a blessing. God put them on this earth so that they could help others and take more value from others around them. And it's probably you or me right now. Who knows? You could be that person for anyone in your life. And I know I'm that person for a few people, but I'm not letting that inflate my ego, because guess what? I consider myself a bit of an idiot sometimes. And most of the time I end up insulting myself and talking down on myself for being a little bit stupid at times. And then that's why I go to other people to get advice from. And that's why I go to these actual like-minded people to take value and inspiration from, because I don't want to stay stupid. And that's the thing. If you are stupid, find people who will make you smart. If that happens, give them and yourself a pat on the back, man, because you kept your eye out and you kept watch for any good people who would come by and help you out. And for them, because they actually took time out of their day to help you. And if you react ungratefully, you're actually a bitch, man, because they probably put so much work into helping you, and you reacting that way is not okay. So don't react that way, and actually take something with maturity and take them with respect. So that's the kind of mindset you should be approaching with, and that's how you become that kind of person of value for others. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that's your main goal. When we do self-improvement so that we can become the best versions of ourselves, as well as be able to make others the best versions of themselves, it's a unified vision. And if you forget that part, it will destroy the whole point of self-improvement. Because once you're doing the other half, but you're forgetting the other half, it's going to ruin everything. Because that other half will give you more insight and help you reach the best version of yourself twice as fast. So heed my warning, heed my words, guys. You need to find someone who is actually capable of providing you good information and who provides you good input and increases your knowledge and intellect, and someone that you also input time and effort in to teaching them as well. That is the kind of bond you want in a friendship. You do not want a guy who gets you in the room or park and you guys are smoking weed together. That's not what you want. You're sharing no value at that point, and you're just destroying your own bodies, because you guys should already know how detrimental smoking is, and smoking weed pretty much is. You could probably get lung cancer from doing that, so I recommend don't do that shit. It's dangerous. And if you're doing that, quit right now. There is a way. There is a way for you to escape. And some people might say that there isn't a way to escape some things, but honestly, there is some way. There is a path that you can take that no one else is willing to take so they can escape. And I know I've been using some strong words, but honestly, that's the perfect way to describe these things. Because you actually need like an emphasis on things, and you also can't be whiling around with soft words, because at this point these are serious subjects and you need to know them. So that's why I'm using such strong words like shit and bitch, because you never know when they're going to come in handy and they're actually going to lift someone up. Because most people nowadays, they never get motivated, or they never get pushed up or driven by someone who talks softly. They only feel that urge when they hear someone cussing them out. And that's the thing. That's what I have to capitalize on, because guess what? The trend is that you need to get cussed out in order to be motivated. So the people who are trying to motivate you have to cuss you out. And then that's the thing. And that's why I'm saying that. So that's pretty much the end goal. But if you guys enjoyed this video or took any value, I'm eternally grateful. And thank you so much for watching this far. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my uploads, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.